In the spotlight, their sermons trending, lost in their own pain, their own minds descending, fame and fortune, their new religion, they're ascending. But their message is empty, their souls are pretending. No more books, all they need is a screen and a voice. They twist the truth, manipulate with no remorse. They teach out of their confusion, their anger aimed at you. Don't fall back in that trap, don't let them control what you do. Stop giving them your time, don't be misled, don't be misled. See through their facade, don't let their words fill your head. Do let the matrix, don't let them drag you back to the ditch. Don't feed their hate, don't let their influence bewitch, bewitch. The spotlight, their sermons trending, lost in their own pain, their own demise descending. Fame and fortune, their new religion ascending. But their message is empty, their souls are pretending. No more books, all they need is a screen and a voice. They twist the truth, manipulate with no remorse. They teach out of their confusion, their anger aimed at you. Don't fall back in their trap, don't let them control what you do. Stop giving them your time, don't be misled. See through their facade, don't let their words fill your head. You left the matrix, don't let them drag you back to the ditch. Back to the ditch. Don't feed their hate, don't let that influence be weird.
Please take a moment and take your seats, because I have been given a word and I'm going to share with everybody. Take your seats. Take your position. I've been given a dream and I have been given a vision. My name is Prophet. I told you so, Yah. That's my name. And I'm going to share with you what has been revealed to me with everything that's going on right now. Yes, I am doing the hands. I'm doing the folded hand thing, because that's what us as prophets, this is what we do. I couldn't find any other music, so I just picked this. I'm sorry, I couldn't find anything else, but I want to share with you a dream, a vision that I had. that I'm going to give to you today, because as you know, that if you didn't hear by now that, they had to go. But if you didn't hear by now that former President Trump has been sentenced. He's been given 40. He was sentenced on all accounts, and he can face up to 4 years in prison. But I want you to know that I have seen it. I have already seen it. Even before you can even think about it, I already saw it. It's already in the scriptures, and we're going to find any and all scriptures as possible and try to twist and turn it and make sure that it aligns with what I have in my head. And we're going to reveal it today. We're going to go through it today. It was a dream that I had. It was like a flashing dream that just came, and everything was just moving so fast. And I was trying to figure it out. Like, what does this all mean? And what's all going on? And, and so the first thing I did is I said, I said, I got to do a video. I got to do a video because the people got to know the truth. They got to know the truth of what's happening. Now, don't mind me, because even though I told you about the 400-year prophecy that in 2019 we were going to be out of here, but hey, things happen. Things happen. Even though I told you that we're all supposed to be gathered right now and sitting somewhere in Africa. I don't know where, because see, I didn't get this specific instruction for all of us where exactly we're to be. All I was just sent here to tell you that we're supposed to flee. I don't know where we're going, but we got to go somewhere. So we got to flee. We just got to go, because it's all coming down. It's all coming apart. Be afraid. Be afraid. That's my word, is that if you aren't doing all 612, 13, 14 law, statutes, and commandments, you are doomed. And there is no hope for you. None at all. See, until you reach my level of perfection, where I am able to do all the law, statutes, and commandments, the rest of you just don't even have a chance. You really don't. So I come here today to tell you that I have a dream that I'm going to reveal to you now. And I had to wear this because this makes me look more deep. Okay. And because, the bald head thing wasn't working. So, I thought maybe the bald head thing would make me kind of look like a prophet Elijah or something like that, because I didn't want to just be any prophet. I wanted to be the prophet, you know what I mean? The one that's calling fire from heaven. So that wasn't working. Y'all wasn't buying that. So I said, you know what, doggone it, all the other prophets, they're doing the head covering thing. So I might as well go ahead and get my shawl and get on here and try to convince y'all of this dream that I had. I'm sorry, y'all. I tried to keep it going as long as I could. I'm running out of stuff here, okay? Oh my goodness. Well, hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to another video. I know I haven't been on here at all. I haven't been on here in a while. I haven't done a live in a moment, but I'm here now. And I wanted to jump on here for just a moment. Yes, if you've been watching the news, you see that, Trump, he's been sentenced. What's going to happen now? Oh my God, what's going to happen? See, it all aligns with scripture. It all aligns with scripture. See, it's all coming down right now. See, it's all happening right now, just as I said it was going to happen. I told you this was going to happen, that America is falling down. It's crumbling right before our eyes. This system it's all coming down now. And what's going to happen now? This thing is flipping. And now what's getting ready to happen now is that we are about to be put on the top, and they are the ones that are about to be put on the bottom. That's what's happening right now. Oh my goodness. So today, what's the purpose of today's broadcast? Yes, prophet, I told you so. Yeah, maybe I'll leave that up. I'll leave it. They always got to add the yah at the end of that. Anyway, I'll leave that up for a minute. Well, get ready for it, y'all. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because you know as well as I know that anytime when big news like this comes about, everybody and their mama got a revelation for you. Everybody's here to tell you and to remind you that somehow if you take this scripture and then you divide it and you multiply it times that scripture, it will equal to another scripture, which you have to compare it to the scripture in the Apocrypha. And then once you compare it to that one, whichever one you feel like the Spirit is telling you the one to go with, you go with that one. But then again, you know, are you doing the law, statutes, and commandments? If you're not, well, that's 2 steps back because you ain't ready for this revelation. It's literally like a board game when you start thinking about it. It literally is. And so, yes, I'm not going to even get into the details of the court case and what happened and, oh my God, the implications. I'm not going to even get into all of that because I ain't looking at it. And guess what? I don't care. Okay, I don't. There are some things, however, the purpose of this broadcast is to warn you for every asshat and every clown that's going to get up here and try to get you in a place of fear and just you just scared out of your mind, like, oh, what's going to happen now? You know, or get you in a place where you just sitting back and you just tuning everything out because, hey, listen, at the end of the day, he gonna come, he gonna gather us all together and we all getting ready to get out of here. We gonna dispel both of those things today. Okay. All right. We're gonna get right into it. So anyway, yes. So as you know, former President Trump, he's been found guilty of all the charges that was put on him and all of that. Anybody at all that's out here today trying to make it seem as if somehow the system is coming apart, because as you know, Trump is leading in all the polls, and it looks like it pretty much will be a smooth sailing for him to become the next president, become president again. You know, however, how does this change everything? Does it change everything? Will this be the first president that we will have that's in prison? You know, will he be ruling the country, from behind prison gates? I'm sure somebody had a prophecy and a dream about that one. And, does this mean that, well, how is it that, do we really believe that Biden is capable of being president for the next 4 years? And, oh my goodness, and wars and rumors of wars and woo, 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 all of that stuff. It's all got to come to an end. All right. All right. So let's get into the facts of the matter. Number one, these people, what we call the powers that should not be, they are not out of control. All right. So I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what dream they try to push on to you. They are not out of control. All right. I'm just going through a list off the top of my head, and none of this is in order. So we'll revisit that point. But the first thing I will say, though, is that all of these people out here that are ready to pull up scripture after verse, after book, after whatever, after dream, after revelation or whatever, the first thing you need to do is to measure the things that they have said already in the past. That's the first thing you need to do. Okay. Because there's many people who are in the prophetic business that have come out here and have said all kinds of things based on current news and have tied things to specific passages and scripture and all of that. And then all it takes is a few weeks, a month, maybe even a day to disprove them. They never have the character to go back and say, you know what? I screwed up. I got it wrong. And the reason why they don't do that is because they know that there are many people out there that don't have the intelligence to go back and to correct them. Instead, you just go right along with it. So they know they have the freedom and liberty to say whatever the heck they want because they know that the demographic that follows them will not check them at all. That's why they just keep saying all kinds of stuff. All right. So that is one thing that you need to check out. So anybody out here that's telling you that God told them this, or Yah told them that, or they had a dream, or they had a vision, or whatever, listen, you better step all the way back. 100%, period. Do you hear what I'm saying? 100%, period. I'll say that again. Anybody out here that's telling you that this incident, or anyone for that matter, aligns with a specific news item, or it's some dream that they had, because they have to supplement it with something else. What it doesn't match, the little angles that don't come all the way together, they have to supplement it with a dream or a vision or whatever that they had to try to make it fit. Anybody that's out here in the business of doing that, you need to check their record on that. There are many people out here. For example, we talked about how, for example, California, the state of California had the, the droughts, when they had the droughts going on. Now, droughts are pretty common out west. They come and they go. It's in a cycle, right? And it was this one particular year that California was going through a severe drought. And you had people coming out here saying that, oh, the Lord and told me that. See, this is in alignment with scripture. It's all alignment with scripture. See, God ain't playing. He's bringing judgment. He's bringing the judgment, right? And then it was the following year, they got a whole bunch of rain. They said, we got more rain than the rain that we needed. We got then some. They said that not only did it fulfill that current year, but all the other years that the rain levels were low, we got all the rain back. Now, all of these prophets that came out online that was saying that this was judgment, they got real quiet at that time. And then all of a sudden you bring that up, then they ain't got nothing to say. But the people that follow these people, they didn't have, unfortunately, the intelligence to go back and say, hey, listen, back then you said this. You said this. You said God told you this was judgment. So how is it judgment on one year and then the next year they're getting blessed? Apparently they're getting blessed. Because a lot of people, especially in religious circles, that's religion. This religion works. It does. It works for exactly what it's designed to do. And it's to keep people in a never ending cycle of second guessing, third guessing, fourth guessing, fifth guessing. And you're just going to keep on this cycle over and over again. All right. So, yeah, so that's just one example. There was other examples. How many examples do we need of a river, some foreign stream somewhere in another country that all of a sudden it turns red and they're like, see, it's judgment. Judgment is happening. And then you find out, oh, it was a chemical spill, or it's some type of bacteria that grows. It happens every now and then, so it wasn't anything like surprising. You know what I mean? But to the prophets, to the internet prophets and stuff, oh, no, it's all, honey, everything's a judgment. Everything's a fulfillment of scripture. And so, so you got that. So you got to check these people's record. OK, you got to check their record. You want to be in an awakening? Start with that. Go back to the things you've been sleeping on. Check it. If it doesn't line up, call it out so that you can be awakened, right? So you need to start with that. All right. Now, as far as this whole thing, now getting back to my first number one, what I was just saying, as far as Trump, number one, these people are not out of control of anything. They're not. OK, everything that these people have had planned on doing, everything they had planned on carrying out, it's still right on schedule. It's very much right on schedule. Everything from the next rollout of the jabs. We have already been talking about that in our group on Threema. We've already been talking about it and also giving solutions on what things we can do to prepare for that. We've already been talking about that. And but it's not anything. They're still 100% right on schedule with that. That is not. They're not getting off of that. OK, that is still happening. We've also been keeping count of many people who look like us, who are dying literally every day. We've been keeping track of all of that. And we've been constantly posting this stuff up to remind people and let people know, hey, listen, they are staying on their schedule. They're not deviating off of that. Okay. So what we're trying to do is keep people focused on the things that do matter. All right. All of this other stuff that's happening right now, I'm trying to tell you today, listen, you don't be listening to these clowns out here. They're trying to get you all up in fear and worried and scared and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. The average person, let me just say this. A lot of these people, and I'm just being 100%, I'm going to keep it 100% real with you. 100% real with you. The majority of the people that I see out here that are giving these prophecies or publicly are making these bold claims about how this ties to prophecy or that ties to prophecy and all that. In many cases, their partner or their husband, and their husband, a lot of times, they don't see eye to eye. That's why you don't have to see them. Some of them, their marriages are busted. So you can't have you got a prophecy for the nations, but you don't have a prophecy for your own marriage. And yet a lot of people want to get up here, but they want to get up here and give you direction and give your family direction, launch you into all this fear and scaremongering and having you going all over the place, trying to put your coins together so that you can go and you got to flee, honey. I don't know where we're going, but we're just going to go. You got people out here in total fear over just not all these different things. And you got to stop it. You may not stand me. You may not like me. You may dislike me. I sleep very well at night. Trust me. But here, we're just going to help you. We're doing the best we can, regardless if you like us or not, to tell you the truth. And as far as this whole situation is concerned, and like I said, again, do we know what's going to happen next to Trump? Is he going to actually go into prison and all this stuff? I don't know. And I certainly don't care. I don't. What I'm focused on and what we should all be focused on are the things that are at play and have been at play for a very long time. The other side of this, and that's what I was just mentioning earlier, are individuals that want to tell you, oh, honey, ain't nothing to worry about, because see, at the end of the day, the Most High, he's got it all. He gonna take us all the way. He gonna scoop us up and we all gonna go up. We gonna go up. We gonna go up. He gonna take us away to a foreign land somewhere. And that foreign land is somewhere between Ethiopia and South Africa. So you take your pick. So you might as well go ahead, get your stuff together and get yourself ready to go. Because it said we got to flee Babylon. Now, once you get over there, but once we get over there, where we gonna stay? Well, honey, don't worry about that, because he's got it all under control right now. So you got a lot of people now that are falling for this nonsense, telling you to flee. And some of the main people that's telling you to flee, their behinds are still here. They're still here. They ain't going nowhere, but they're telling you to go. They're telling you, you know what, you better go now. You better get up out of here, you know. And then you ask them, where are you? Well, we're going to wait till you go, you know, and you tell us about it. And then once y'all go through get all the bugs out, you know, out of the system, then we'll come later. That's what this is the plan. And unfortunately, a lot of our people, we've been telling y'all this stuff. I've had people, like I said, we had an individual reach out to us. It was some scam that went on some time ago. We warned people about some of these individuals out here, and we told you, listen, leave them alone. But still, people went right along with it and lost. I think this one particular group was upwards to 40 grand. Then they want me to talk to, you know, can you help us find it and recover? What am I going to do? We done told y'all, leave these people alone. You understand? So anyway, so again, all of this right here that's happening right now, there are some real things that are at play and will continue to play. What I will also tell you is that, you know, again, this whole song and dance thing that's happening right now with Trump and all that, it does open the door for more dramatics to pop off. You understand what I'm saying? They can use this as an excuse. Well, there's people, pro-Trump people in the government, that didn't like the results. So this is why we're going to shut down all the power, or this, that, or whatever. There's all kinds of scenarios that are possibilities that could play out. But my word for you, is simple, is number one, you focus on you and your family, right? And you make sure, what the things that we've been telling people is something we've been telling people for a few years now, is basically making sure that you have the basics, have a mindset that things can change at any given time. Think of those, when 9/11, when that happened. I mean, everything was cool and fine, and everyone that was alive during that time, I don't think we'll ever forget that day. And then all of a sudden things just changed just that quick. And it allowed them to push all kinds of legislation and all that kind of stuff. So that they have never dropped the ball on those possibilities. And that has always continued to be one. But so what I'm saying is this, and it sounds like I'm contradicting myself a little bit, but I'm not. On one hand, I'm telling you, listen, don't get caught up in the fear and all that other stuff, which I still say that, right? But on the other hand, what I'm saying is that, listen, there are some real things that are happening, though. And the thing is, you have to have discernment into understanding what those real things are. And when I say discernment, I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about this discernment like this. You know what I mean? I'm prophet, I told you so, yeah. And I'm like, I got discernment and you don't, because I spent all day in the scripts and you don't, that kind of stuff. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about some basic sense and a willingness to keep up and keep abreast on some of the things that are going on that's playing out in the world today. And it's just some very basic things. And then based off of that, make sure that you're just, you got your basics down, you know what I mean, in your home. And, if there's things you need to, generator or, extra food stored away, little things like that, building your own personal networks of people that you trust. If you had to go and stay with some family members or friends or whatever, making sure that pipeline is still clear, just some of the very basic things that we should be doing anyway. You don't need a scripture for that. You understand what I'm saying? These are just some basic common sense things that we should all be doing anyway. All right. It's not for you to be sitting up here all scared up, because this is what religion does. You cannot have religion without fear. Let me say that again. You cannot have religion without fear. And what a lot of these religious folks are specialties, what they specialize in, is pushing fear and pushing all and anger. He's a jealous God. How can you explain to me how a God that controls everything, created everything, but he's still jealous of you? See, a lot of y'all repeat these things, but you never take the time to actually sit and think about it. We say these things a lot. He's jealous, though. And we did a post. You got to scroll back on the community page. That whole thing about he's a jealous God, that didn't originate in the Bible. That actually, there's other gods that predated the Bible that they had the same line in their own quote unquote holy text as well. Is that I'm a jealous God? No, I'm a jealous God. So it's an old, very ancient saying, but when you stop and think about it, it doesn't make sense, does it? But we like pushing these different narratives to keep people in fear and to keep you thinking in irrationally. And you got to stop it. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta put the brakes on it. You can be in control of your life, okay? You can be. And there's a lot of things that we don't know. So we can't. So that's why I said, for me, I'm not going to spend this platform up here speculating on everything. We can only talk about the things that we do know. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is what it is. It's just what it is. but we can focus on the things that we do know. This is another reason why we spend so much time, emphasizing the importance of our people focusing on their health. This is the best time in the world right now. You need to be focusing 100% on your health and your wellness. No, this ain't just a commercial for Samba Tree. Okay, this is just period. One of the things I've been doing, I'll tell you right now, is I've been doing just that. I spend about an hour a day. I start off my day in the sun, an hour a day, just laying out in the sun. And when I tell you, I could see the difference just in my health, in my mind. I'm remembering things now a lot quicker. Not that I was losing my memory or anything like that, but I could tell now it's like, wow, this is something. And then I start finding out the many, many benefits of just being out in the sunlight, what it does internally, to all your organs, to your stomach, and correcting things going on in your digestive system. There's a whole lot of things that I'm noticing in my body that's happening right now, and it's all very positive. But one of the biggest benefits is that being in sunlight, extended periods of time in sunlight, it gives you just a sense of peace. No matter what's going on, you just feel at peace. You wonder why, like a lot of these island cultures, for example, or when you go into some of these countries where, people tend to stay outside a lot. One of the biggest complaints of people who live in the mainland, like United States or whatever, they go there and they're like, why are these people saying they just dragging? When I say we're going to meet at 6 o'clock, we're supposed to be meeting at 6 o'clock. They showing up at 8. Why is that? It's because one of the benefits of the sunlight is that you don't feel any pressure. They say it's island time, man, and it puts you, sometimes that could be island time still means you need to get the job done, but you know what I'm saying? But what it does, it puts you in your mindset in a relaxed state. Do you understand what I'm saying? Where certain things don't really get to you like they normally do. We live in a society, in a culture where most of our activities take place indoors. So we're not getting as much sunlight as we need to get. And so being out in the sun for prolonged periods of time, getting exposed to those UV rays, it will help and aid in all of those things. If you deal with diabetes, if you deal with high blood pressure, there's a whole list of benefits of exposing your body to at long periods of time to natural UV rays of the sun. These are the things that you should be focused on right now. And a lot of these people out here that are out here wanting to scare you, you got to leave them alone, especially when they don't even have a track record, even in their own house. They don't even have in their own house. I could tell you stories about some of these folks. Their house is a wreck. You hear what I'm saying? A whole wreck. But yet they get up here and talk about, oh, the Most High told me today this. And then they just be telling you stuff. And it's like, but you can't even keep your freaking house together. How are you out here telling me about what thus said Yah, and you can't even keep your house together? I mean, seriously, seriously, do people not check these things out now? I mean, is that just, we just over, all these years we've been here, we just don't even check things out anymore like that anymore. We just go with it. Well, hey, listen, we ain't all perfect, and all this stuff. Well, then shut up. The things that you have a demonstrated track record of being successful in, speak on those things. But if you don't have a demonstrated track record of getting a prophecy right, then shut up. Be quiet. We got to start drawing the line on these things. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, again, this whole Trump thing or whatever, listen, that's a sideshow. All of that is one huge sideshow. The real things are the things that they haven't stopped pushing, which is the what. And they're already saying this fall, that's the deal. This fall, that around that time period or whatever, that's what they're talking about. That's the plan right now for that. Someone's asking me about how do they join that group and the Threema group. Let me I'll point you to the video, and you can watch it, and it will walk you step by step on, you know, how easy it is for you to join. It's very easy. I'm not asking for one dime from anybody on that, but it's called where is it? Is it a pre-recorded video here? Let me see here. I'm looking for the pre-recorded video. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I found it. It's right here. It's this one. Ah, shoot. It's this one right here. Communication strategy for the next wave. That video right there. Let me see if I can share. Well, there it is. I was trying to get the link. Hold on. Here it is. I'm trying to help you out. I'm gonna put the link in the chat here. Here it is. There it is. That's the link right there. I put it in the chat for you. And yeah, you can check that out. Where am I? All right. There you go. So yeah, so there you go, family. I'm literally not spending any. I didn't want to spend too much time on this topic at all, you know. But I just wanted to drop in here real quick because I already know that you got people already lined up, ready to tell you how much this aligns up with this scripture and how much it aligns with that scripture, and it's all falling down right now, and he's getting ready to uplift us right now. And that's what I was going back and forth with. So let me ask you something. Okay, this is the one other thing I will bring up. This is the one other point that I will bring up for y'all today. Okay, so again, this is one of the many reasons why my family and I decided, you know, we're done with the whole Hebrews. We're done with all of it. We're done. Because there's a teaching that says that, you know, and they pull this out of scripture. They talk about how, you know, a day's coming where the day of Esau is going to end, and then the day of Jacob or whatever is going to rise up. Again, it's this whole thing where they're assuming the role of the very Jewish Jacob. Okay, very Jewish Jacob, right? Just assuming it just because, right? And they're saying it's their day. Their day is coming, you know, this thing's going to flip, and then we are going to be put at the top and everybody else is going to be at the bottom. Now, how many videos I could point to you right now where you have Ashkenazis, very Jewish individuals? They've been saying that for a long time, except they're saying that you are Esau and they're Jacob. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's their text. It ain't yours. It's their text. But you know better because you saw a few videos on YouTube. But even deeper than that, let me just ask you this. All right. Let me just ask this. When you look at us as a people, I'm talking about just Black Americans. OK, we can look at all the different all the different subgroups, groups, or whatever you want to call it, Black folks all over the world. We could talk about all of that. But I'm just talking today about Black Americans. That's what I'm talking about right now. Now, by and large, generally speaking, for the most part, we have a severe self-hatred problem, a severe one. I mean, severe. Bottom line is, for the most part, many of us hate each other. They hate each other. We see one seem like they're rising up, we're very quick to tear them down. Now, this is just in the general Black American community. You know, we can also look at the murder rate. Many of us are killing one another. All right, we can even take a look at that. But then let's kind of bring this even closer. Let's just bring it down to a more specific demographic now. Let's look at the Hebrew world. All right. Let's look at that, since there are many people, there are quite a few people that are in that space right now, the people who are looking. I had a guy today, trying to convince me that there's a Hebrew community. I said, you cannot spell community without unity. And I said, there is no community. SV label says, I'm new here, just wondering what's the general belief of this channel. In truth, we're just in search of truth, and we're willing to face the truth no matter how much it hurts. We came out of Christianity, we came out of the Hebrew world, and now we're here. We still, yes, we do believe that we have an ultimate creator that's created all of these things. We still do that. But at the same time, we're willing to go back and to learn from our past mistakes so that we can become a better version of ourselves, if you will, going forward, only focused on truth. That's pretty much the summary there. And you're more than welcome to stay and look at any and all the videos that we have. We have tons of information, and you are more than welcome to look at it. If you have any questions, you can always reach out. We have an email address. You can reach out there. That's connect@journeymanandwoman.com, or you can leave it in the comment section. That's fine too. We just simply ask that you be respectful. And then that's it. As long as you're respectful, it will be returned. If you're not, that will be returned as well. It's very simple. All right. But anyway, let's zoom this into the whole, when we talk about the Hebrew space here. Now, you may not say it, but here's the thing. I'll tell you, that whole arena is full of people, for the most part, that hate each other. There's one group, there are more expose videos where I'm going to call these people out. No, I'm going to call Hebrews calling each other out on the regular, telling on each other, ripping each other apart. Will spend hours. I don't get it. Spend hours debating about a scripture. Debating about a scripture or a bunch of scriptures. You go on TikTok. How many of y'all go on TikTok sometime? I'll go on TikTok. I'll be scrolling, like everybody else. And then you get to the one where it's like 20 squares up there and they be yelling and screaming at each other. And the topic is which laws are relevant for today or something like that. And they just be screaming. And I'm like, who even watches this? And then all of a sudden, then they start cussing each other out and all this stuff. So you cannot convince me that this is some kind of group where everybody just loves each other and we all support one another and all that. Nah, get out of here with that. Get all the way out of here like that, because that may be in your house, but I guarantee you get out here and you say one thing about, well, the 400 years, that was 2019. Well, no, 400 years, no, that was 2020. Or no, the 44. And then you just debating over off of that. Then you got the groups that you got one group that believes in the whole Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament. Then you got another group that says they don't believe in the New Testament at all. Then you got another group that says they don't believe that Jesus existed. Then you got another group that says they believe he did. There's another group that says that he does exist, but one day he'll come. There's another group that sees that they are in the same bloodline as the Ashkenazis. There's another one that says they're not in the bloodline of Ashkenazis. It just goes, it never ends. It's a world full of contradictions. And what I'm telling you is that you cannot, in all of these things that are happening right now, I'm not talking about Trump, but all these other things that are happening right now, your mind, and I'm specifically talking about black folks, your black mind can't not afford to stay on that merry-go-round of foolishness. You got to get off of the merry-go-round of foolishness, where you're just going around and round and round and just one, and just repeating. I ask you a question and then your responses is always a scripture. You can't even speak for yourself. You got to pull out a scripture. You can't have that mindset in this time that we're in right now, where every response you give to anybody is a scripture. But see, here's the thing. You won't do that on your job. If your boss asks you a direct question, you're going to give them a direct answer, are you? But when you're talking about some of these other things, well, in Esdras chapter 2, it says this. You can't even give a straight answer on anything. Nothing. And it just goes on and on and on. And it's a never ending cycle of self-hatred. You got to come out on somebody. You got to expose somebody. You got to beat them down. You got to lie on somebody. You got to it's the same stuff. I don't understand why people still tolerate this stuff. I really don't. What happened to you? I remember when you came back, you used to say, you used to agree. Right. It used to. That's the key word. But then I started getting a little bit too dizzy and nauseous because I start seeing the same things happening over and over again. And I said, nah, we got to get off of this grind. I'll say, Nicole, stop this crazy thing. I wouldn't call for no Jane. I'll say, Nicole, stop this crazy thing. I got to get off of this thing. So your mind has to be clear. Your mind has to be clear for the things that are, when I say clear, I don't mean blank. I mean clear of the lies that we've been tolerating for so long. Clear from the lies of these fake prophets and prophetesses that are out here that are telling you all of this BS out here, that they had a dream that this was going to happen, or they had a dream that happened, but they didn't have a dream about their husband walking out on them. Or they didn't have a dream that they were in some sexual relationship with somebody else. They didn't have that dream. They didn't want to tell you about those dreams. Listen, y'all, it doesn't take long to find these things out. You can look this stuff up on your own. A lot of these people actually tell on themselves. But they assume that they know that most people aren't paying attention because they keep running their mouth about so many other things. They'll say, admit to something one day, and then the next day they'll go on about something else. And people are like, you know what? You got a point. What you're saying, it lines with a dream that I had. Yeah, this sounds about right. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. My husband, I got to convince him, and he ain't with me. But we got to get out of here. We got to move. We got to go. We got to get out of here because America's falling. This nation, this system is falling. Okay, it's falling. I would listen. Yes, the system that we know today as America is coming down. It is. But there's another system that's coming right behind it. And guess what? You ain't in control. But here's the thing, out of this whole fantasy that you're going to one day you're going to be put on top and they're going to be put on the bottom. If you hate yourself, if we already have an established record that many of our people hate each other, what sense does it make for you to be put in control? What do you think's going to happen when you put in control? You think that all just dissipates and goes away? I had this one person say, well, Rome wasn't built in a day, but Rome didn't start off with people shooting each other either. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like the religion puts this fantasy in your mind, thinking that all of a sudden, snap, everything's going to just turn out one day. You're going to wake up one day, everything's going to be, and they lived happily ever after. If you don't have a track record of establishing or preparing for a happily ever after, it's not going to happen that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Things just don't happen. But religion has a way of lying to you and having you check out where you're not involved in the process of preparing for perhaps a happily ever after. So you just, child, he gonna come one day. Everything from I've already told you the silly stuff that's out here. You got prophets out here talking about listen. You think I'm playing around? Let me put my whole gear back on for those that just came up here. Let me put the whole gear back on, okay? Because I got to look the part here. Because this is what some of y'all like this stuff here. Because this is what y'all pay attention to. Okay, the Lord done told me I had a dream that we're supposed to all meet up at this at the docks. I saw in the spirit realm all of these black people, and they were all meeting together at the docks all over the United States, because what I saw was Michael and Gabriel. They were piloting ships. They were piloting cruise ships. And I saw in my spirit spirit realm. I saw in the spirit realm that we were supposed to get on those ships. And then when we get on those ships, it's going to take us to where we need to go. And right as we were on those ships and we turned around and looked back, I saw it was like mushroom clouds just going up all over the place. And, and we got on at the right time. So this is why I sense in my spirit realm that you are to sell everything you have and you need to move and go to wherever city that's near you that has cruise ships. And you got folks out here that are doing this stuff. I'm not making this up. And that looks silly and we laugh, but you got people out here that are doing it. Actually doing this right now. So I'll leave you with this. When are we going to start holding these individuals who have told you lies after lies after lies that things were going to happen, it didn't pan out. And instead of you going back and saying, you know what, you a liar. You're a liar. And I'm going to leave you alone because you're a liar. You're a straight up liar. But these individuals count on your ignorance. That's the point I want to make. A lot of these people count on your ignorance because as long as you willingly stay ignorant, you can easily be controlled, you can easily be manipulated, and you can easily be pushed into all kinds of fear and panic and scare tactics and all this other kind of stuff. Because you won't even take 2 seconds to look up something on your own. Instead, you just waiting for someone to tell you what to think and what to believe instead of you investigating this stuff on your own. I had somebody that was actually mad because I was telling people to look up stuff on their own. I've had other people that all of a sudden they just get so intimidated that I'm actually telling people, yes, you need to look this up on your own. Don't take my word for it. Here's the information. Look it up on your own and verify it. Why are you telling people that? That's an insult. What to look something up on your own that you mad? You mad? You want me to tell you that the Lord told me that, nah, don't listen to, you got to listen to me. No, we got to be over that. We got to be done with that. This is the time right now for you as individuals to have to care enough about yourself, to care enough about your family, to begin to start investigating these things that are out here that you've been claiming and standing on. Does it align up with actual facts, factual history? Yes or no? Or are these people out here telling the things that they're telling you? Does it actually align? Does it align? Are they a truthful person? In other words, prophecies or predictions they have made in the past, did it happen? If it didn't happen, then you need to leave these people alone. I saw a video the other day. They said what was it? What do you call it? The Northern Lights. I think it said the Northern Lights are a sign of judgment. Everything's a judgment. Everything's a judgment now. You got to leave these people alone. And you got to start asking some very serious questions for real. Because like I said, a lot of times these people out here that telling you all this thus said God and thus said Yah stuff, they can't even keep their home together. And it's a shame, but and unfortunately, a lot of our people won't check it out. So anyway, like I said, my plan was not to make this a very long video at all. I wasn't even planning on going live today either, but this whole Trump thing happened and I already knew that the lines are going to be filled with all people coming out here talking about that they had a dream, they had a vision, and God told them this, and they already knew that this was going to happen, and this is how it's going to play out, and all this other stuff, and then people, now's the time to stop the foolishness and tell these people where they can go. All right. And just be done with it. Because like I said, again, there are some real things that are afoot that we do need to be paying attention to, not in fear, but just making sure that, okay, I got my eye on, I'm tracking with that. I'm tracking with this. Again, the person they asked about this thing we started. It's a small group. It's on the Threema app. The app itself is $5.99. That does not go to us. That's what the app charges. Okay, that's a one-time fee. If you haven't watched the video, watch this video right here. It's like a little over 17 minutes long, and it talks about. I go towards the end. I think I basically tell you, what the group is about and how you can join. It's nothing secretive about it. It's nothing. Like it's. This is for the real deep people. No, it's just we're sharing things that we can't share on YouTube. That's it. But it's all about this stuff right here. And it's not in fear. We're sharing you the scary stuff, but we're also providing you with some real solutions, some things you can be doing right now. We've had some people even said, hey, listen, I'm one of those that actually took the thing. You know what I mean? And what do I do now? Do you just tell them, well, it's too late, honey? Religion would say, well, you got the 666 on you right now. You going straight to hell. Yeah, it's people will tell you that. For real. These religious people will tell people that. What kind of hope do you bring with that? Wait a minute now. I thought your book said that you were supposed to lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. How about you step your behind up, lay hands on these people and heal them? How about that? How about do that one? How about that one? But you want to do a whole argument 12 hours on the 12 the who's in the 12 tribes and not, but you don't even have enough power to lay hands on someone who did take the thing and heal them. You won't talk about that one. Well, because they ain't supposed to happen right now. Well, it said according to the book, you're supposed to be walking. You're supposed to been walking in that, but you're not. So keep it real, keep it 100. And fess up to it, but you won't. You got to make up another. Well, in the book of Esdras, it says this, and in the book of Hezekiah and oh my God, whatever. You got to make things up to excuse it. It's ridiculous. So for people like that, we got to say, you know what? Let's find some things that can hopefully can help them out. I found out the other day it was someone that's actually teaching they're doing a whole seminar on it, how to detox from that. Does it work? I don't, I hope it does, but they're more knowledgeable in that stuff than I am. So we just pass the information along. Maybe it'll do something for them. And then there's some other things too, that we, let people, we're talking about and saying, hey, listen, just to let you know, this is what they're talking about. This was going on, whatever. You know what I mean? And just keep it pushing. We ain't tying stuff to it and saying, see, this goes along with this prophecy and all that. Nobody ain't doing that. Listen, here's some information. Do with it as you will. And, try to make the best decisions that you can for you and your family. And that's it. And that's how it should be. All right. So, just ultimately you be at peace. We have provided more than enough examples of ways you can walk in peace starting now. And, one of the ways, of course, is turning out these complete asshats that are out here, that their only job out here is to scare you into fear, into worrying and all this other stuff. There's a lot of things we can talk about, different things they're doing right now, because while that's going on, all these chicken farms, they burning them up. I mean, there was another chicken farm that got burned down today. It was like a major one. In the meantime, they on the other side, they're talking about all these chickens now. All the chickens got flu. All of a sudden now, all the chickens in America got flu. So if you're a person that like chicken, well, guess what? Them days are numbered now. You better figure it out real quick. You know what I'm saying? But are we going to die because we ain't got no chicken? No. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry. Ain't no fear. Okay, no fear in that at all. If you think your life ends with this foolishness, no. We are eternal beings, and and only but so much these people can do to you. And once you get that mindset, there's no man, there's no woman, there's no prophetesses or whatever that's out here that can scare you. You know how easy it would be to me to call some of these people out by name, but I don't. Because I don't have time for that. I'm not trying to, because that's easy. That's easy currency out here to be starting up stuff and all that. I ain't got time for that. It's on you as individuals to start researching and looking things up on your own, in terms of what is truth and verifying that. That's on you to do that. Okay. That's on you. This is not high school. This ain't junior high school. This ain't elementary school. This ain't that. We're grown. Many of us hopefully are grown people, and we need to conduct ourselves like that, especially in times like this. We got to conduct ourselves like that because we are at a state of war, and we've been at a state of war. And every day I'm seeing many of our people just dying. So I'm sorry, but I don't have the time to be playing around with a lot of stuff. If you notice, I haven't been doing too many videos lately because I don't, I would just say, I said, I feel like I've reached a point where I don't know if anything else I say would make any difference. I really don't. I don't know. I don't think so. There are topics that I would love to dive into and talk about and get into it. But I honestly, on this platform, I don't think it's not that. And here's the thing. It's not that I'm claiming to be some kind of deep person and nobody out here understands me. No, I'm not saying that at all. It's just that when you're dealing with a deeply religious demographic, religion likes to keep people on a single rail. And a lot of people are afraid to leave that rail and to look at the other possibilities that are in life right now that are so enriching and so empowering. And many people are afraid of that. And like I said, again, that's what religion does. It keeps you in a perpetual state of fear, in a perpetual state of being controlled by others who like controlling people in fear. So there's a lot. Like I said, I feel like, man, I may do a video occasionally, but I find myself more often than not these days saying, what's even the point, for real. And so anyway, that's something for me to kind of figure that out. But my hope is that you would be an individual that looks these things up on your own. Don't listen to these clowns out here. I don't care what scripture they pull out, because I guarantee you more often than not, they have a hideous track record in calling things at all. They can't even get their own home life right, but yet they're here wanting to guide and direct you and your family into making these rush decisions on stuff that you're going to live to regret. And they will never come back and say, you know what, I'm sorry for telling you that. They'll never do that. They'll just move on to the next thing. So anyway, so that's it. That's all I have for y'all. Thank you for tuning in. You guys take care and stop listening to the prophets. Okay, stop listening to the. I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm gonna leave you with this. Okay, stop listening to the prophets out here. Okay, stop listening to them. All right, what was my? Is this my my song here? Maybe this is my song I can leave off. So again, never mind what that other person said here. I'm the prophet here. And what I say to you is, I had a dream. And the dream goes like this.